Hey everyone, my name is Whitney, and welcome back to Spastic Chatter. Spastic Chatter is meant to feature stories from those in the cerebral palsy community. I will be getting together each week with a new individual with CP, like myself, to have kind of an uncensored chat, if you will, about what it's really like living with this type of disability. And for this episode, I have my internet bestie, Emily Crosgrove. This episode we're going to talk about dating, and it's kind of a funny topic for us because that's how me and Emily got close. Is I went to her. Oh, she was like that one girl I went to gossip about my dating shenanigans and like to get advice because we both have cerebral palsy and both in wheelchairs, so it was just nice to connect with somebody that got what I was going through, because it is very different dating with a disability and then being able-bodied. I would assume. So I'll let Emily go ahead and say a little bit about herself.
Hi everyone. Like Whitney said, my name's Emily. I live in the Bay Area, California. I have a 10-year-old daughter. I am engaged to a great guy named Ross. Like Whitney said, we got to know each other about 2 years ago when she was dating. I had just gotten out of the dating scene, starting to date my now fiance, but I spent a good 2 years on Plenty of Fish trying to find my fish. And so I've been through it. I have cerebral palsy. I have like mixed CP, so I have both spastic and non-spastic cerebral palsy, which basically means some of my muscles are really, really tight and some of my muscles are not so tight. I'm pretty lucky in the fact that I am completely able to speak for myself. My little family and I live on our own in our apartment. I work a full-time job. I'm a middle school secretary. I live a pretty normal life, besides the fact that I have a power wheelchair. I've been driving a power wheelchair since I was 2 years old. So my outlook on life is a lot different than a lot of women my age, but I like it. It makes me different.
Yeah, we're all about being different.
Most definitely.
We want to stand out.
Exactly. If you can't stand up, you have to stand out.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna jump into the topics, and just so everybody's clear, I'm now engaged. So that's why we decided to do this topic, because we're both out of the dating scene.
Now that it's safe, now that we're two dating ladies, two engaged ladies, we can openly talk about dating, because we don't have to do it anymore.
Exactly. Okay, so let me pull up. Okay. Well, the first topic I have is dating online versus in person. Like, what do you think is, like, what you did Plenty of Fish and I did Plenty of Fish, but did you try to like go out like to bars and stuff?
No, I've definitely never been on a date with someone that I initially met in person. Every date that I've ever been on has been with someone that I met online.
Yeah, me too, because I don't know, it feels awkward, like going, like when I go to bars, I'm like the type of guy that I want is not the type of guy that I attract at bars.
Totally. The ones that are usually brave enough to talk to us are usually kind of different and
Yeah.
not exactly what we're going for.
My friends make this, they make an entire joke out of it. I never fellas. I attract silver foxes. Guys like in their in their 60s, like they will come to me, like they have like it never fails. And by that time, like if we're in a bar, I'm a little bit intoxicated, so I will like have a conversation. I will have like a conversation with them,
Right.
and like
You'll be like, sure.
it turns into like can my friend has to like can like get me away, because by that time like they're invested, and I'm
Right,
just,
they think you're interested because you've had this whole conversation because you're too nice.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. And then like
I know.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I just know, like, the only times that I've had people interact with me, and I'm always like, they're always like, you're really pretty, but like you're so pretty for the girl in a wheelchair. Or in high school, but high school boys are stupid, so you can't really go off what high school boys say.
Yeah.
But there are people, I've had someone tell me like, I really like you, Emily, but you're in a wheelchair, so I can't let my friends see you with me, which is stupid.
Exactly.
Like now that I'm an adult, I don't think as many people think that way. But having heard that, that's still in the back of your mind all the time,
Yeah.
you know?
Because I've heard that too. But another aspect of dating versus trying to find somebody in real life. This is kind of a funny one. I don't know how much like function you have in your arms, but I can't really like when like drunk people go in for like a hug or something. I can't get away,
Right, you're like, ah!
I'm like stuck there unless my hand is on the joystick. I'm like stuck there. So like we have me and my twin mostly like she's had to like come up to me and like push guys off me, like no, like back up, like she doesn't want that, like
right,
back up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate that I have one pretty functional hand, so if I have to get away, I'm gone.
Yeah, exactly.
But
no,
I can only imagine.
But to me, the online dating, you really like find out who the person is before you go on a date with them per se. If you're looking for that type of date, like
right?
You can. I mean, there's a bunch.
I feel like yes and no. There's like a lot of ways for them to hide. Yeah.
Yeah, there's two sides of online dating. There's the creepy side of online dating where you don't really know the person, and then there's that one in, let's say that 1 in a million chance, like
yeah,
we're lucky to have found our
we totally are
to have found our fiancés on plenty of fish. Okay.
Definitely. I don't think that's very common.
No. Okay, so the next topic, when did you disclose that you had a disability? Did you like make it like prominent on your profile that you have a disability? Did you?
I always had it written like in my profile, like about me, but I also had things like fluid and sarcasm. So somehow guys would see it and think it was a joke. Like I was putting it there to weed out some weirdos. So I would often get the message like, you're not really in a wheelchair, right? You just put that. Like, why the heck would I put that? Like,
I got that too. Like I like on the picture that you swipe right for, whatever, however you do it. That picture would just be a normal picture, and then on my profile, I put I did it like jokingly, like like I'm I'm really awesome or something like that. And I did a joke and like people would not take it seriously. Like they thought it was a joke. No, I'm serious. I'm in a wheelchair.
For sure. No, I was the same way. And like you said, my main picture was just a normal face smiley selfie or something. But I eventually had to I'm kind of weird and I'm not one to take pictures of myself in my wheelchair. I don't have very few pictures of my whole self. So I had to like go out of my way, take a picture of myself in my wheelchair, post that to be like, it's for real, guys. Like, I didn't just make it up.
Yeah.
Because that's the last thing I ever wanted was like for a guy to come and pick me up for a date and then be surprised. Because that would be an awful surprise.
I don't know how some girls do it, like how they don't like tell whoever they're talking about or talking to that they're in a wheelchair, and it's just like surprise. Like I don't want that.
That's dangerous. Like not only like could something bad happen, but like what if you get invested and someone's really not like, let's face it, some people are really not down to date someone with a disability. So I would never want to get invested with someone with the chance that they could be like, oh, nope, that's a deal breaker, bye.
Yeah. I'm gonna lay it all out on the table before we even like start communicating. Like if you're not down with this, then boy bye. Like I'm not down with you. Yeah.
No, I am not. No, if you're not okay with it, good for you. Good luck next time. I'm not trying to trick nobody.
Yeah. I'm not trying to catfish.
Great.
Okay. Do you have any funny stories? I know you have funny stories.
I know devotees are a later topic, but there's those all up on the internet.
Yeah.
So there would every once in a while I'd get messages like, oh, I really like that you're in a wheelchair. And I'm like, okay, like that's kind of weird. Like, oh, will you send more pictures of like just your wheelchair? No. Or like they would get upset that I wasn't into the fact that they were into me just because of my wheelchair.
Yeah.
And it's like
some of the guys some of the guys, it was like a conquest, like it was on their bucket list. Like
yes. Even if maybe they didn't realize it before, like once they like started to gain interest, it was like, oh, well, I could check that off my list. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know. Do they tell their friends like, oh yeah, I went out with a girl in a wheelchair? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
They probably do.
They probably do. Ew.
Well, I have a lot of funny stories because I got really sarcastic on that app. Like I was really sarcastic. Like when guys ask me what happened to me, like they'll just be like, what happened to you? I would like if I didn't like them or if I didn't like show interest in them, I would come up with this elaborate
Just
story.
make up a whole story.
That skydiving story. Like that I was injured in.
Yeah.
And
dude, you might as well.
The poor guy believed it. So yeah, I would just do stuff like that. Like I would just be very sarcastic, and either they got it that it was a joke and like it was funny. Some people got pissed and like stopped talking to me. I was like, oh well, if you can, but this is how it is.
Right. How are they going to be mad that you're joking about yourself? I don't.
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah. But
I wish I could remember. I'm sure there was other situations. I dated on Stupid Plenty of Fish for like over 2 years, so I saw all kinds of weirdos. I wish I could remember more specifically though.
Yeah. So, well, mine was more recent. Yours has been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, And then there's always that one question there, and they ask, they pretty much ask it straightforward. Like the first question they asked was always, "Can you have sex?" Like,
I freaking always. It's like, okay, hi, nice to meet you. Can you do that? Would you walk up to a person on the street and be like, hey, nice to meet you. Can you do it?
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think so.
Yeah.
But behind a screen, people get so brave.
Yeah, that was the number one question. Like they wouldn't even say like hi or anything. Like their first response, like message to me was like literally, "Can you have sex?" I'm like nope, I'm not responding to you.
Probably a good like 1 out of 10 people, that's all they cared about. Like that would be their first instinct. It's like, oh yeah, I really want to start a conversation with you after that's how you started it.
Yeah. And then there's those people that like we were having like a good conversation, and then all of a sudden they asked that question. I'm like, do you have to like are you ignorant? Like, do you have to ask that question?
Oh my God.
Like
they are ignorant though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They are.
They are ignorant. Yeah.
Would you ever answer?
No. Like
No.
what's the I'm just like really think about it. Like they didn't like
I would
nothing happened. Like nothing happened down there. Like it's all my disability has nothing to do with that. And like
right. I would often say like, well, I'm a mom, so
and yeah, you have that angle to go off of.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Hold on, oh man, devotees.
Those weird devotees. I feel like you have more devotee experience than I do even.
Yeah. Well, let's explain what devotees are for the people that don't know. I don't even know. Devotees are people that have fetishes for the disabled people.
Like disabled fetish, whether it be like amputees or braces on your legs or your spastic hands. I don't even know. I've had people say really gross things about my spastic hands as devotees.
The more disabled you are, the more they're turned on. Like
yeah, like they get off seeing people struggle sometimes.
Yeah, they get off on the struggle, and I have more encounters with devotees than I would like. That's one reason why I stopped doing YouTube for a while, because I got so many devotees, and like I actually and then there was that like they can be very subtle about it. Like there's that one guy that was like talking to me for like a long time, and then all of a sudden I got a message from another girl in a wheelchair, and she was like, he just slid into my DMs, and he liked a picture of my feet, and I was like, that's weird. And then the sad part about it is I'll admit it now because I'm engaged. I continued to talk to this guy because I thought that that's all I would attract, and so I like had low self-esteem, and like that's the sad reality of of dating with a disability sometimes.
For sure, because when you hear over and over like no one's gonna really like you, or oh I would like you, but then you start to think like, oh well, this guy, as weird as he might be, like at least he's down. So it's kind of like okay, if
Yeah.
that's what my life is.
And he was kind of attractive, so I was just like, oh, I'll just entertain this, and then like it just got weird, and like, no, I can't do this anymore.
It's way worse when it's like subtle, because then you're invested. You find the good in someone. At least when it's like creepily straightforward, you can be like, ooh, nope, bye.
Bye. And then I forgot to put this in the topics, but I know that we've had conversations about this, and I've kind of I've kind of changed mindsets, but for a while there, we wouldn't like. I would not, if you were in a wheelchair, like I would not talk to you. Like if the guy was in a wheelchair, I would not talk to him. Which
I totally am the same way. I know, like, obviously things changed for you, which is awesome.
yeah.
But all growing up, like, I don't know, my dad would see, I will never forget, my dad saw this guy in a wheelchair at the mall one time when I was like 14, and he like tried to get me to talk to him, and I was like, Dad, just because he's in a wheelchair doesn't mean I have to like, well, I don't even know this guy. And ever since then, like, I don't know, it's just, I feel like for me, I've always felt like I'm already such a spectacle that adding that would just be a bigger spectacle. But I had never met someone in a wheelchair, like a guy in a wheelchair, that was on my same level. So maybe had I met someone who was awesome, and things would have been different. But
yeah. And
Ross, my fiance, he's able-bodied, and he picks me up and throws me everywhere I need to be.
yeah. And for those of you that don't know, my fiance is also in a wheelchair. He we have two different disabilities. So like he has muscular dystrophy and I have cerebral palsy. So we kind of like even each other out. Like what I can't do, he can do, and what he can't do, I can do. So like it's not like like we don't really have to rely on caregivers and stuff like that. So it's not so because I always had the I don't know how to put this without like I wanted somebody that could take care of me. Like I didn't like because I believe the guy should take care of the girl, which is
Totally.
yeah. So like,
but if you guys are looking out for each other, that's even better.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I told him when he first messaged me, I was like, yeah, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And he was like, why? So I was like, because you're in a wheelchair. I don't play bumper cars. That's what I told him. And
I remember that.
Yeah. And like I was like not about it at first, and like the more I talked to him, the more he grew on me. So.
Well, I'm glad he didn't give up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He has a lot of people to thank for that, but he kind of has you to thank for that too, because I was messaging you, like I would like get your advice on all this. I was like Emily, I don't like it's different with him, but I don't know because he's in a wheelchair. I was like, Emily, help me.
I could tell he was different because before that, you were like, no way. But the fact that you're even considering it, that's how I knew, like, oh, well, he must be kind of special. So I was like, well, if he's special, you have to at least try. You can't just like we wouldn't have wanted to just been like thrown to the side because of our wheelchair.
Yeah.
I guess it goes two ways.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so
when you would date, I know the answer, but when you would date able-bodied guys, like would you feel comfortable with them picking you up at your house? How would you go about that?
I would, well, to be honest, I don't think we're the. I think what we did was probably the opposite of what you should do, because
Definitely.
because like I would have them like come over to my apartment, because I didn't really feel like being lifted, like by like talking about it now. It feels like so like, why would you do this? But I didn't want to be lifted by a complete stranger and like put in the car, because once I'm in the car, like I'm pretty much at the mercy of whoever's around me. Like at least when I'm in my wheelchair, I can like be comfortable, and like, so I would invite them to my apartment, and that is something that I would not recommend. No.
No, well, I lived with my parents when I was dating, so I would let strangers come and pick me up. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's like so dangerous. Like, I didn't know these people. I didn't know these guys. Like, once they had me in their car, they could have
Exactly
done anything. And I totally do not recommend
no.
just getting into a car with anybody, like able-bodied or not,
Yeah.
but especially when you're disabled.
And
Don't do what I did. Like, I
don't do what I did. Don't invite them to your apartment. Like don't. But like in my defense, I live in a small town, so like I would like the people that I would match with would like know people. Like we'd have mutual friends, so I'd like call and like talk to them. Like so.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm in the Bay Area where there's a million jillion people. So
Yeah.
I was just stupid.
So, but this is kind of a funny story. The first time I met Devin, we lived 6 hours apart at the time. So like he was all the way in West Texas and I was in Central Texas. So, and we don't drive. So the first time we met each other, we met the entire family. Like we met parents. We met like it was a big shindig. And then
That's awesome. And then how long had you guys been talking at that point?
Like not even a month. We did it. We were very, well, he's over here like whispering, but we were very fast. We like talked for 2 weeks, and then he asked me to be his girlfriend, and like I was like, what? I was like, whoa, this is like really fast track. I like this guy. I think I messaged you. I was like, Emily, he just asked me to be his girlfriend, and I was like, it's really fast.
And I'm pretty sure I went,
Yeah. But so we were considered a boyfriend and girlfriend before we actually met in person, which is weird, but that's how it happens. And then we met.
When you know.
Yeah. And then he stayed a week at my apartment, and then we just gradually stayed longer with each other, and now we're living together, so it worked. A year later, we're living together, so it worked.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I know Ross met my mom on our first date because that's finally when I was like, okay, I need to stop going in cars with strangers. Not safe. So my mom like drove us to the movies, or she drove me to the movies, and then because I don't drive either, so obviously she was picking me up and he was there. And I was like, Mom, meet this really cool guy. And then we just saw each other like every day.
You know what's funny? I just now thought of this. When I first got on Plenty of Fish, I was still living with my parents. So I was talking to this guy, and he wanted to take me out. So he drove up he like drove to my parents' house and like was like and I told my parents, I told my mom, my dad, do not come out because I was just gonna go get his car. And next thing I know, I'm going out. I'm like leaving the house. My dad is right on my tires. Like he's right behind me, and like so like it was that awkward like, oh my god, what is he doing? Like, and then when the guy brought me home, like it was a terrible day. Like it was terrible, but when my dad brought me when he brought me home, my dad is outside walking the dogs, and
Like out just circling your house.
Like, we live in the country, so he has the dogs in the front yard, and like it was like midnight, and my dad has the dogs in the front yard. And
what'd the guy do? Was he like, ooh?
No, like he got me out of the car and walked me to the front door, but my dad is standing right there. And then turns out I got in the house, and a couple seconds later there's a knock at the door, and I left my phone in his car, and so my dad answered.
Oh no.
He gives my phone to my dad.
Like, did you ever hear from him again?
No. Like he was like, I just no. He texted me like the next day and was like, I just want to be friends, and I was like, cool, I don't care. Like he was like, right. Yeah. I think I said something sarcastic, and I was like, you're missing out or whatever. But that's how I was back in the day. Like I was very sarcastic.
Yeah.
So were you gonna say something?
I forget.
Okay. So I think the last thing is, we kind of touched on this. Do you have any advice for other women with disabilities that want to get into the dating or want to get into online dating or dating in general?
I think first, it's really important to find confidence in yourself and to, like, it sounds super corny, but to love yourself. Because I feel like the more respect you have for yourself, the better people you will attract. Like if you don't have, like, for instance, like you said, like when you were talking to the devotee, you thought like maybe that's all you can get. But now that you have more confidence, you know, like you can have an awesome guy. Yeah. So I think it's really important to find yourself before you put yourself out there. But once you are out there, like, don't be afraid to post, or don't be afraid of your wheelchair. I highly recommend not hiding your wheelchair, because you want to know if someone's going to accept it. Don't be stupid like me and get into cars with strangers.
And me.
Don't let them come to your apartment.
Do what we say, not what we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. And just know that there are guys out there that don't give two craps about your wheelchair, and they are gonna find you and they're gonna love you. And if some, like, for me, I don't know, like it's kind of strange, because part of me is like, well, of course someone should love you despite your wheelchair, but the other side of me understands that it's not for everyone, and that's okay.
I think the older we get and the more mature we get, like I've come to realize that it's not for everybody, and that's fine. Like,
yeah, and it's not necessarily even about us. It's about it's their problem, not our problem.
Exactly. And I would just like to add that to not get discouraged when you're dating, because dating is a long process. Like,
Dating is a long process for everyone, and it sucks. And there
Yeah.
are highs and there are lows, and you're gonna get ghosted, but everyone gets ghosted,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
You might get your heart broke, but that's okay. You
Yeah,
you become a stronger person. As corny as that sounds, you figure out what you don't want in a relationship when you yeah.
definitely. You totally learn like, oh well, not gonna do that again. And then when you do find that person, it makes it even more special because you know that they're a solid person.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think that kind of wraps it up. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Um, I think we covered everything. That went pretty good.
Yeah. So do you have anywhere like your social media that you want to give a shout out to?
Oh yeah. If you want to reach me, I am Emily Crosgrove on Facebook. You could always message me there. Um, or I have a YouTube channel that I haven't posted on in years. Emily Lime. I'm sure Whitney can link
Yeah.
something in the description box.
Yeah.
And I'm also on Instagram at MemmyLife, MEMMY.LIFE.
Yeah. I'll link all that
That's
in
my
the
Instagram handle. Yeah, totally feel free to reach out to me. I'm an open book, unless you're a devotee. Sorry, I'm taken. Do not contact me.
Yeah.
But if you're another person with a disability that has any questions that maybe we didn't cover, I'd love to answer them.
Yep. And just to close out, if you want to be featured on Spastic Chatter, you can leave it in the comments. Email me. The email will be in the description. And I think that's it. Thanks for agreeing to do this. You're the only person
Thanks,
I have to do
Whitney.
this topic with.
It was really fun. I'm glad we could do it.